Right. For today, we're opening up in 7 minutes, looking at the relative goal highs that formed after 7 here. That's going to be my initial draw on liquidity. And then right after, we are looking for, I'm really liking this level right here. It's the highs that were formed all of last week. A lot of liquidity here. It might not be a move for today, but it's something of interest. And this is my general draw of liquidity for the upcoming week. But for now, we're looking at trying to grab this liquidity right here above us. And we'll see if we get it. We almost got it today in the morning, but it left a triple top for us to attack later on in the day. The RTH gap is below us for today. It's going to be a bullish opening of 160 points to the upside. This red bar here is the daily SIBI. So if we kind of pull it back to the daily, this is kind of what happened as we opened up in a bullish manner. We pulled back. We made possibly the low of the day, and now we're kind of sitting above this daily SIBI. From 1 hour perspective, again, we've kind of broken market structure. If we think of this as a high that it broke, the bodies are respecting the mean threshold of the daily SIBI, and the next 4 hour candle might close above the daily SIBI, which is nice to see. And then on the 1 hour, we've got price kind of butting up against the mean thresholds of the previous daily candles. So again, something that I'm watching. But ultimately, I do want to see what's going to happen at 9:30 in 4 minutes, see where price wants to go, and see if this high here, this target, is one of the targets that it wants to attack. So those are going to be the moves for the day. You see on the 15-minute chart, it did create like a bullish fair value gap here. Price did meander around it. Very messy price action. But all in all, let's see what's going to happen. And usually when the open's above 120 handles, we are fairly bullish for the day. But price can still go back to the mean threshold or the middle point of the RTH gap, tag it, and then push higher. What we have above us here, this is also looking pretty good. It's a low resistant liquidity run right here where you got lower lows just forming. It was respecting order flow. But let's see if we can get a push higher. All right, 3 minutes open. You have news today. What time? 10 a.m. We have red folder news, so there might be a lot of chop till 10, and maybe the move is going to happen after 10. But something to consider for today's trading. Right, 30 seconds to open. This is most likely what the RTH gap is going to look like, what I have here in green on the chart. And we're going to see if we can plot against the first fair value gap and take a trade against it or with it. So our price did a pretty good job of grabbing liquidity from earlier in the morning. You can see here liquidity formed, kind of pumped higher, tagged it once again, pushed higher, almost to these relative equal highs. And again, it decided to fail and go back lower. So let's see what's going to happen. So after the 9:30 open, we had a bearish push lower. Be waiting for the 931 candle to form. Let's see if we can get a fair value gap against it. So on the 15-second chart, most likely this is going to be the first fair value gap that forms after 9:30. Okay. All right. Price is trading above the RTH gap right now. Wondering how it's going to come back down and respect this 15-second fair value gap here, if it will at all. But there's still no first minute fair value gap on the 1 minute. Price is most likely going to tag these highs right now. I took a micro scalp here, but it's not even worth posting. It was tiny. All right, so my liquidity for today was already taken. Price is looking pretty bullish. This may have been the complete retracement to the RTH gap just due to the large RTH gap open today of 100 and I think 60 points. It's 150. But I do want to see a 1 minute fair value gap form and see how we respect it. But since we've taken out all this liquidity here, the next draw, we've got relative equal highs here. 168. And then it's gonna be pushing into sell side imbalance. So if we map you here, I'm not in love with this here, but we'll see. Okay, so we got our first fair value gap after the open. It's right there. And I do like to map it to the 15 seconds. Like, am I interested in this long? No, not really. Just because we just took liquidity, and my bias for going longer than this is questionable right now. So I gotta wait for a bit more. Maybe waiting for the 10 o'clock news to hit. That might be the move. So price is pushing right now into the first fair value gap here. Technically, the bodies are staying on the upper half right now, but again, doesn't mean a lot. We're sitting above the daily SIBI right now as well. This red bar here. But nothing here is of interest. My scalp was, again, it was, if you guys are interested, it was once price got to this level right here, it was something like that. It was a 1-to-1. That's what it was. For 70 bucks. Not a lot. All right, see, the first presented fair value gap wasn't really respected. And to be honest, this is incorrect. It should actually be mapped like this, because there is a gap here. So the first fair value gap is gonna look something like that. So let me remap that to the 15 second. Price went down to the 15 second first fair value gap. Interesting, they rejected it. And now it's in between these two levels here above the RTH gap. I still have no interest, or I don't have a bias right now of going long or short. We did create relative equal lows below us right now. So we got to watch out for that. These lows might be taken right now. These relative equal lows. Taken. I don't even know if maybe this inversion was a play here, but what price it is. Traded below it, traded above it. Body stopped at the midpoint of the first percent fair value gap, and then it dropped lower. It's hitting midpoint right now of the RTH gap, or actually just below it. But right now, it's digging into this sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. Price were to be bearish right now and were to break below the RTH gap, where would price go? Just kind of looking at the 1 hour. Let's see here. I do need to build some structure on a potential bias. So we do have the, and let me get rid of some of these lines here so it's easier to see all this. We are digging into the midnight opening range here. That's in purple. You can see since the open, midpoint has been respected multiple times. But again, if it breaks below it, this might indicate that price might be going to, we do have sell side here on the 1 hour, right? Relative equal lows, 1, 2, 3. Or to be honest, like the closest level of relative equal lows would be right here, right below the end dog of 303, which is today's end dog. So you can see here, going short, we're trading into the end dog, the midnight opening range to get to these levels. Difficult in my opinion. And then to the upside as well, we do have a huge liquidity pool above us. So price has bounced off of, or it stopped at the top end of the midnight opening range. A possible trade that could have been taken, just hindsight speaking. As after all this liquidity was taken, it displaced lower, something like that. If y'all caught something like that, I think this would have been fairly acceptable using the first percent of fair value gap and taking it down to the sell side. I was just a bit thrown off by this rejection here on the 15-second first percent of fair value gap. AWF. Oh, no problem. Glad it worked. Glad it worked. So looking for obvious sell side. So uses in 15 and 20 minutes. Price is going to have to work a lot to get back above the first percent of fair value gap. Right now, I'm leaning more into, on the interim, there's relative equal lows here. Price were to leave this open and push higher, it just means price is very bullish. But we have, in my opinion, this is buy side. And the sell side would be right below us on the 1 hour. So price is respecting the midpoint of the midnight opening range. Interesting. Interesting. The first displacement is essentially around the midpoint. So right when we hit the midpoint of New York, or the opening range of New York, we had a fair value up here. I'm not going to plot it, but we'll know that it's around the midpoint. So it is a sensitive area. And right now we're also retesting the midpoint of the end dog of today of 3.3. So we do want to see what price wants to do. On the 15-second, you can see here, those relative equal lows looking very clean. But again, we got this new week opening gap that we're trading into, which makes things a bit more difficult. Do a fair value gap here that was left open. It could be a breakaway gap. We don't know that yet. I'm really curious how it's going to react to this level. I guess when prices, I think the only trade so far that made sense was a short off of the first fair value gap down, but right now, looking at price, most likely it is hunting for the sell side here on the 15-minute. Again, it just looks too clean for it to be left open. But there's just a lot of like resistance that we're in currently and trading into. So that's why I am not absolutely in love with this. Maybe like an ultra quick trade. A scalp is right when it gets below these levels here. Right when it breaks the end dog and it tries to retest it and it breaks further. Taking that lower to the sell side for like a 20 pip scalp. I see that as a high probability potential if price were to do that. But as of right now, I think it's a gamble. Right now we're testing the lower end of the daily CIBI. But most likely, I think the high probability trades will probably happen after 10 o'clock, after the red folder news comes out. We'll see what price wants to do, and we might take a trade after 10. Price is attempting to break the midnight opening range now, this purple bar. You can see over the last, what is that, 8 minutes, price hasn't left a single fair value gap. It's just kind of, it's moving low, it's moving lower, but it's not showing a lot. So what that usually indicates is high resistance. I'll be right back, but just give me 2 minutes, guys. Right back. Looks like price rejected the end dog, which is technically the new week opening gap as well of this week. You can see the midpoint here is bodies aren't closing below it. Again, a reason why it's tough to short this environment. You can see your price is starting to trade on the upper half of it. Still nothing really interesting to trade. If price breaks back above the first presentation and it uses as support, that might be indications of trying to take this level right here. So this is going to be like the next level that I'll be interested in if price were to break above the first presentation. Price is, I think right now it's just hasn't done much in the last 10 minutes. A new PDA that I'll be using is the first displacement that happens after the week open. So this red bar right here that we see, This is something that I'm gonna have on my charts for the rest of the week. And you can see here how price, it really respects it. And I traded back into it. So these are stronger like fair value gaps and displacements according to ICT. So something that I'll be looking at moving forward. But as of right now, price is, it's waiting. It's waiting for a move. And right now I'm 50-50, to be honest, guys. I really wish when we opened, it went lower to midpoint and then it kind of came up and it tagged buy side, but unfortunately it just went straight up, took it, and then so that's a bit unfortunate. All right, so price is finally pushing it. The 950 macro is kicking in right now. So this I'm liking. Hold on. That was a nice little push to the downside. I'm just mapping right now a possible trade. I just want to see what the RR is. I'm not taking this right now. This most likely is going to be, we'll see what happens in 1 minute. But we'll see if we get like a fair value gap here. We do have a 15-second fair value gap right here. Maybe let's see how it's going to respect. Let's go 1.8 to 1. Not crazy with RR here. That's a nice rejection on the 15-second. I'm going to take a quick short here. 1 minute. I'm going to have my stop right there and my target. I'm not in love with the trade. That's why I'm only trading 1 micro. But my stop right there. My target's going to be aiming for these relative equal lows at 884. 884. So price is rejecting this fair value gap here on the 15-second chart. I wouldn't want to see a break above the midnight opening range. So I am going to trail my stop right there. We'll see if that delivers. There's a lot of resistance that has to break through. That's why I'm only trading one micro here. The result's going to be 90 bucks on my end if it does manage to land or tag these relative equal lows here. But that's the next draw on liquidity here. That makes sense here. I'm going to trail my stop. Actually, I'm going to leave my stop where it is. Once it hits the low of the end dog, I'm trailing my stop to the high of this move right here. I don't want to see it going back up. Now it's a matter of fact of either I think this is a good trade. 884 should be my target. 884. Come on, price. So my stop's right here right now. Stop. That's where it's sitting. Price almost butted to the low end of the RTH gap here. This can be it can act as support, so keep that in mind. Like price can bounce from here and go up higher. But again, my stop right now is pretty small, so if it takes me out, I'm okay. If it takes me to target, I'm okay as well. Okay, moving my stop to break even. So either I make profit or I make nothing. And I do want to see price just blow through this and just take out the sell side here. This is just too clean for it not to take it. Come on, price. Allow me to make some money today. 884. I just want to make sure I have the right level here, guys. What level am I targeting? 884.25. Okay, that's what I have here. And tagged. There you go. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Yeah. Nice little quick trade to the downside. Feeling like crap today, but that made me feel a bit better. Okay. So we're technically, I'm not going to count my scalp in the morning as a win, but I guess I'm 1 for 1 for today. Okay. So we are at, so we've just taken sell side here. We've got news coming out in 4 minutes. Did anyone catch anything within this run here? Trade 1 or trade 2 off of the midnight opening range? All right. Where is price going to go next? Another $1 million question. So after this very heavy open to downside, just looking at price action from the daily perspective, price delivered to the midpoint of this gap here and it's pushing lower. So price can do one of two things, in my opinion. It can continue to push lower, and we do have sell side below us. So the first layer of sell side is last week lows, but then we got also sell side here as well. Those could be two levels that can possibly be targeted. You can see like there's even more. Like it can be a deeper retracement. The way the daily is looking right now, it's looking like it just filled in inefficiency and it might be pushing lower. On the 1 hour, you can see here, the only line of support that I see until it starts breaking these lows is this level right here, this BISI. So once it breaks it to the downside, my interest will be going short to hit those. We got relative equal lows right here on the 1 hour. So As of right now, let's see what's going to happen in a minute with the news. But shorts right now are definitely, I wouldn't say they're high probability just because we've taken so much liquidity right now for the market. We've taken the lows from Sunday, all three of them, pushing into this BISI that we have here, indicated, and it's going to be blue in a sec on the, that was a good short. Yeah, thanks WF. It's just the market needs to give you confirmation, and it did give us confirmation right here. We're just trading through much shit here, and then once it started displacing lower, and once I saw like these bodies kind of really close in at the mean thresholds of fair value gaps, that's, I guess, further indication that it might want to go down. I was worried about the lower end of the RTH. It'll just bounce up higher, but it looks like it broke right through. Oh, wow. Okay. Looks like price is very bearish. I just don't, just got to figure out what price wants to do next. It might continue dropping, guys. But I'm going to start mapping large fair value gaps and inefficiencies and seeing how price reacts to them, if it's going to invert them or if it's going to want to take it lower. Price can also turn around from this point, right? Because this is an imbalance that it tagged in. But again, I'm seeing mixed signals here from the daily and the 1 hour. So you can see here on the 15-second, price just kind of still within this fair value up here, the SIBI. But something tradable here, in my opinion, no. The short move has to happen. And I caught 1/3 of it on the way down. So the moment we pass this candle right here on the 15-second, that's going to be a market structure shift to the upside, which we technically do have one. It's a weak one, but it is one in theory. But again, it's the bears are definitely pushing price down here. This might be a level of interest here, guys. So 75 handles at 1 micro was $100. So you can see here, very small trade, but $100 times 5 accounts is not bad. It's not going to count as a winning trading day. I need to get $100 more here. So hopefully, if the morning's not going to present anything, maybe the afternoon might. WF, have you managed to catch anything today? Oh, perfect. I got the same short you just took just now. Awesome, man. It's good to hear. See your price on the 1 hour. Dig into the SIBI. Same here on the 15-minute. Kind of just mohawked outside of it with its wick. Traded into this bullish fair value gap here. Came up higher. Maybe a move might be trading right through it into the first presented fair value gap, but I'm not gonna like this. I have traded this concept for about 6 months so far, and I enjoy how you talk through what you're doing. You're calm in the chat through this. It beats other discords where they overwhelm me with their hype and noise. Yeah. What I've realized is the only way to make money is you have to be calm. The moment I'm not calm, I lose money. For some reason, those are the days I shouldn't trade, just because it just skews your perception. You're more jumpy. You just want to make money, right? Like, just to get your frustrations out on the market. And you keep hearing it everywhere. Like, you have to be calm and collect to trade well. And it sounds silly, but there's some truth to it. But glad to hear WF, man. Some days I'm a bit more energetic, but today I'm just feeling got some like cold or something attacking me. Yeah. And our Discord's pretty quiet. I don't have, as of right now, if I'm seeing something after hours, I might post it there. But it's something that's going to probably grow with value over time, as like more and more people just share their trade ideas. Oh, nice. Well, welcome to day 3. Glad to have you with me. So we'll give price today till 10:30. If it doesn't show anything nice, we're gonna call it a day. And I might trade the afternoon. Let's see if I need use in the afternoon here. Forex Factory. No, nothing. We just got a FOMC member speaking. Tomorrow we have no news, which is not a good thing. Wednesday we've got, oh, today is or this week is non-farm payroll. That sucks. Okay, so Friday I'm probably gonna just price read. Thursday's a tricky day. I think Wednesday's FOMC. Let me just double check again. I turned off Forex Factory. Wednesday is just non-farm payroll change. So I'll trade tomorrow and I'll trade Wednesday, but I'm not going to trade Thursday and Friday. I've lost too much money on those days. You can see here on the 1 minute, these relative equal highs that formed. This liquidity here. That price is going to want to tag. Might be right now, to be honest. Yep, looks like it tagged it. So that's tagged. Let me remove that. Price right now is trading to the bottom of the RTH gap. This green bar can act as resistance. And if I were to want to go long here or short, like what would I want to see? I think for me to go long in the next hour, I would want to see a huge push. Or hold on, let's try to break it down this way. Since the open till now, we moved 350 handles. We're going to be entering lunchtime in the next hour. So the lunchtime macro starts at 11:30. And if price continues to dribble lower, I am going to be looking for a long. To what level? This could be a level, but it's essentially the first high or low after 10 o'clock. So most likely this right here, if price were to do this today, we'll just kind of like do that for like the next like hour at 11:30, which is right here, Or even, to be honest, during this window right here from 1050, let me 1050 to 1110. 1110. So I'll be looking for longs either here to this level, or if it doesn't happen within that 20 minutes, I'm going to be deferring my long shot from here. Okay. Doesn't mean at 11:30. I'd have to wait for price to turn around, show me something significant, then I'll take a long. So this is going to be, it's called the lunchtime macro. Technically it's from, and if you guys want to write this down, I've memorized at this point. It's after 11:30 to 1:30. That's the lunchtime macro. And it's when price generally was in a single direction with minimal retracements during the morning session, which is what we want to see. And then we take it to the first high after 10 o'clock. So this is going to be here. So 10 o'clock's here, the first high of that forum. This is going to be the easiest target to hit. Okay. So that's going to be my play for today. If price continues to go lower, it would have to break this 1 hour BISI, come up higher, reject it, and then push lower. And then we're attacking these lows here. But I think since I'm a 1 minute trader, what's going to make most sense is just waiting for something like this, just being patient with the market and seeing if I get an opportunity to go long, and kind of looking at this level here, like what would I want price to do? But see, it gets tricky here, because if price were to break below this 15-minute SIBI and close below it, and then you're looking for a lunchtime macro that's sitting above it, that wouldn't be like a good trade anyways, right? So I'm going to be watching for this. I might, if I do take something, it's going to be aggressively managed, like right away to break even, and hopefully price just pops. But like technically, this is what I want to see. Like I want price to not break this 15-minute SIBI, stay above it. Or if it does drill lower, I wanted to drill to this BISI right here on the 15-minute. And then turn around at 11:30, and then I'll have like a larger price swing to target. So if it decides to turn, like respect to this fair value gap, whatever, I'll get out of break even. But if it decides to push further, I will essentially be hitting this target right here. So hopefully price leaves this open, or it creates a double top and drops lower. But this is kind of it, guys. So it being 10:11, I don't see anything tradable, to be honest, for the next little while. I think I'm gonna leave it as is. I'm gonna leave it as like two small wins for me. Altogether, it was 170 US across all my accounts. So I do have to muster up $30 more today to get like a full trading day on Top Step. But I guess on that note, guys, if you enjoyed this, I appreciate a like, and I'm probably gonna be streaming tomorrow again at 9:15. So I guess on that note, have a great and safe day, and I'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye for now.